But we're ready to go. It's time for game number 1 of this loser's final match in 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
Already some massive deviations in the board, both players having different ideologies, and kind of reminds me back in a misdrop right there for Myles, but it kind of reminds me back in the Waco 2023 when Dog tried to match Myles' placements, and then after a while stopped. He was like, your stacking was just too weird.
Yeah.
Definitely different ideologies to open things up here in the beginning.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see the unique ways that each player, the unique style of stacking that each player brings to the game. They definitely, and all are very, very good. They've all done very well today, done very well yesterday. It's been a crazy weekend, dude.
Still more burns being taken here. Nice spin over there for Andy. Tetris ready, and wow, throwing those pieces over the left. And Myles finally scores first Tetris of the game, actually. Definitely a tough opener. That double rotation on the T, it was such a rough misdrop because the holes were generated on row 4, so a Tetris couldn't be scored until it was dealt with.
Yeah, you had to build up all the way to said hole, right, to even be able to deal with it, and that, it took some time.
There it is, 86,000. Myles now finally start to gain momentum here. Regularly scoring Tetrises, finding a groove, and early on, being able to find that groove and just play on autopilot is, for some people is, really good, because a lot of, Tetris players, our intuition allows us to choose generally the best move or a really good move most of the time. Oh.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that J hang gonna be a little rough. He could took a long bar underneath there. We'll see. Yep, that's exactly what he's gonna do as the bar comes in. And just like that, this board back under control, and yeah, crisis averted.
Yeah, a little bit scary, and we're still best of 3 territory, so it could easily be brutal.
Yeah, one early top out's all it would take, potentially to send one of these two home.
There it is, Tetris for Myles, trying to find some way to kind of get back in this, down by just under 100,000 points, roughly around 70,000, and pieces aren't necessarily the most ideal, so no Tetris going to be scored off of that long bar for Myles.
Yeah, so Andy is enjoying about 100,000 point lead right now, as now Myles is starting to get into a groove here, Sharkies. He has slammed down a couple Tetrises these last few lines. We are about halfway to the 19 transition.
Yeah, 327 here at 67 lines. This is definitely a higher pace game.
Yeah, and we were kind of talking about some fatigue that could come into play as we are in such a late phase of this tournament that the convention is closed and we're the last ones here still doing things. The expo probably hates us at this point, but we kind of as we just saw Andy having to replace a glove, perhaps some fatigue on some of the equipment too, right? Having some trouble keeping up with what we're trying to do with it.
I mean, my headcanon is the reason why they're having a third day is because of us. They realize it's these Tetris kids, they're going on for a long time. Let's add a third day to our convention. There's some extra pros, but we're the main reason.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I'm sure we'll get the bright idea, right? I'm sure Pumpy and Van, those involved, in organizing this, I'm sure they're already getting some bright ideas what if we expanded this tournament? Now that we're getting an extra day, clearly this works, right? So we should expand on this.
Yeah, 32 seed, double elimination.
Yeah, clearly.
And right now, perfectly timed eyepiece over there for Myles, and Andy fills in the long bar dependency up top first.
Yeah, that was a
nice adjustment.
Yeah, it was a really good burn with that J, taking a single there, trying to keep the right side open so he could burn down. Yeah, you see kind of that left hand, I think maybe feeling it a little bit. He kind of mentioned to me, as I played him earlier on in the lower bracket that took place on CT2. He was like, yeah, I told him, I'm kind of glad I lost that because my hand was starting to feel it. He's like, honestly, mine too. So perhaps, really feeling it now.
Yeah, and it's such a grueling format because, once you lose, you have so many more matches to play. And, There's now a lot involved in it. Now you got the pressure. It's like, all right, if I lose again, then I'm done.
Yeah, and and having to reset the bracket, to have a chance to win the whole thing. So, it means you got to win 2 friggin' sets against the person who survived the main bracket. And just, Dog's just been sitting back. I mean, he's just hanging out, with some of his buddies over the back corner there. He's not even, he's like, whatever, man. Whoever wins, I'll beat him. That's fine.
Yeah. 551 for Myles, 591 for Andy. That 600K transition is knocking right at our door, as is transition itself. But players looking for one more here.
Yeah, you see Andy was thinking about maybe doing a T flat, but decided to rotate it, and he's kind of getting high up on that right side.
There it is. Tetris for Andy. It's going to get set up too and knock down another one. 639 for Andy right now, 582 for Myles.
Yeah, this is getting tight here, especially with that T hang on that left side. But Andy clutching up with a Tetris there and a bar over to that left side.
Yes, but this is perfect for Myles. Has the opportunity to close the gap. Is down by less than a Tetris. However, Andy still finding efficient Tetrises being scored despite having to not necessarily have the cleanest board. As a matter of fact, there might be a column 9 on the way here.
Oh, there it is. Bang Tetris. 719 to 683.
10,000 points is what separates these two players here, as Myles knocks down a Tetris and takes the lead, but Andy takes it right back. Behind in lines has that advantage of just a little bit more leeway. Both players knock down a Tetris, 774 to now 763.
My God, this has just been such a back and forth affair from the very beginning. You kind of saw Myles had that rough opener to begin, but he's bounced right back in this. I mean, let's go. This is game time.
Yeah, looks like both players are running into a drought here. Myles able to find the long bar score. Tetris, 3 S's in a row. Oh,
more S's coming in.
And Andy's not going to be able to, nice last second adjustment to avoid the misdrop. But just like that, Myles has successfully taken the lead. Andy's going to take it right back. 837 to now 828. Myles is clean. Tetris ready. Knocks one down there. Andy waiting patiently as well. Some back and forth endeavor. Triple being forced upon Andy right there. Tetris taking the lead back. 876 to now 889.
Quick announcement on packing up. It seems like some of the vendors are taking the tablecloths off the tables.
Another Tetris for Andy. 908 to now 951.
Yeah, we got 908 to 951. It is Myles who has taken the lead here in this one.
Knocks down another Tetris, 1 away from that max out. Andy 2 away. Still has, a couple lines in hand. But Myles does have a true lead at this moment. Oh, nice. The recognition right there from Andy on the next
Myles
box.
whisked the tablecloth off of that column, whatever it was, Tetris. It was a center well coming in.
975, 1 Tetris away from the max here for Andy. There's a Tetris for Myles. And there it is, Tetris for Andy. 810 to now A53. Another Tetris for Andy, goes up to A43, but Myles counters A86. 1 Tetris away from the 1.1.
Yeah, this is really coming down to the wire here, Sharky. This is game number 1. And, again, we got potentially 2 more to go here before we reach our grand finals. My goodness.
Oh, I like the setup that Myles is going for. And it looks like the pieces are not quite going to allow for it. Oh, that's perfect. And just like that, another Tetris. 1 more line to go before 29. We can be seeing a 1.2 in the 29 for Myles here. But
yeah, very efficient game for both.
Oh, all right. Set up, and there it is. 1.2 in the 29, and here we go. Separated by a Tetris and some change. Both players now trying to get an ideal board. Myles, that left side, starting to get built up. Gonna have to burn it down. Andy might be building up for something in the center. No, he's just gonna try and get it under control. Both players now having to fight their own separate woes. Beautiful split burn. Andy's
setting up. There's the Tetris.
Oh no, Myles, a couple of misdrops. Gonna have to try and recover. Andy just gonna try and
Andy's
keep
right on
control.
his tail. So Myles gonna have to get this under control here. But that right side getting dicey here.
All right, nice flat burn. Beautiful pieces, that's gonna open up things. But now Andy's getting set up. Andy is set up and knocks down. Tetris takes the lead. C98 to now C78. But hold on, Myles is following in Andy's footsteps. Is Tetris ready? But things are getting a little bit dicey. Knocks down a Tetris. D20 to D10. But now Andy's setting up one. trying to at least takes a triple, and we were almost tied there for a second. Myles still trying to survive. That burns one line. The pieces are going over to the left successfully. Still trying to find a way to burn this out. Andy hot on his tail, and another misdrop from Myles. Andy looking for pieces. That burns a double.
Myles
goes
up
for
high.
a flat burn, and Myles is gonna top out, and Andy just passes his score, taking game number 1, D54 to now D39.
Wow, and Myles almost got out of that dig too. Like he was bringing it all the way down, just had one misdrop to get him right back into it. Oh my goodness. Game point for Andy in
3, 2, 1, Tetris. And this is it. Myles has to win this to equalize, to bring us to that decider. Andy has to win this game to face his brother in the grand finals. And Myles already experiencing a little bit of trouble. And, you know, we talk about the endurance of these players and, you know, having to go through the lower bracket being, you know, a strenuous task. But there's also the benefit of having momentum. Andy has won the past several games and has had consistent performances. And Myles is coming in cold, fresh from a loss.
Yeah,
nice dirty Tetris there, though.
Yeah, it's great dirty Tetris. But, and even like, you know, mentally, right? You know, you kind of mentioned the endurance, right? You know, physically, but yeah, mentally too, right? Just coming off a loss, like, all right, well, now I gotta stake and post here. It's like I still got a chance. I'm still in it. You know, and you know, you gotta realize, like, hey, everyone here is on their A game. Anything can happen here in Classic Tetris.
Nobody that made this bracket is a slouch by no means.
Yeah, seriously, everyone has really shined here. As Andy's gonna get a nice dirty Tetris in.
Beautiful well transfer as well.
Yeah, very well done there. 82,000 for him, 80,000 for Myles. We are neck and neck to begin this at game number 2.
Both players score Tetrises 104 to now 104, separated by half a single. And Myles is going to try and set up for a double here. And it's going to be 2 singles, but that's the exact burn he was looking for.
Yeah, and, you know, again, now the boards look pretty clean. You know, we kind of had some early struggles here, you know, kind of from both of these two, but now we're getting into a groove here. And look at this. A couple hundred points, the difference right now between these two, as Myles takes the lead with a Tetris.
And then Andy chases the lead back down with a Tetris of his own. And Andy was actually prepared for another one. Myles still kind of had to build the stack up. And, you know, that's one of the things, like, you know, some players, another justification of them playing aggressive is in case they do get that other long bar within, you know, quick succession of another, they're able to capitalize while the other player just has to get the stack built up. It's such an incredibly, you know, intriguing game, and there's so many layers to it, especially when you start to involve same piece sets.
Yeah, I mean, you know, perhaps even, you know, as we kind of get to certain parts of the sequence, you know, you kind of realize that, like, hey, maybe I'm behind my opponent in the sequence, you know, maybe kind of doing some screen looking that we've seen from some players, you know, seeing the flashes of the Tetrises coming in, knowing, like, okay, I know I'm behind my opponent in the sequence. I can just, you know, I can realistically go a little bit more aggressive, you know, and just wait for the long bar to show up, try not to cover the well.
Yeah, and then you could take it a step further and just look at, if you are that far behind, you could look at the line count. And if you see that, you know, you and your opponent still have that same line count, it's like, okay, we're in a drought, I'm not going to go too aggressive. Or you see there's like 4 different, you know, there's a 4 long bar count disparity. It's like, okay, or I'm going to get the bar here, I can go a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely, you know, again, a lot of metagaming, right? A lot of components here to the world of Classic Tetris.
Speaking of components right now, Myles looking for the perfect components for this stack. Trying to get set up for a left well here. Waiting on the long bar.
Yeah, there we go. Finally shows Bang Tetris will go to 358. 380 here for Andy, as Myles will take the lead with another Tetris.
Triple going to try and keep Andy ahead a little bit. Goes for this overhang. Does get the J piece. And no spot for the O. Had to do something like that. And
yeah, I think really would have liked the T there to go for the spin, right? Kind of fit that in there and then have some room above it for another tuck, but gonna have to opt for some burns instead and may end up, okay, no, it's gonna burn this down. Was thinking maybe would go for a dirty left well here, but opted not to, opted to play a bit safer.
Yeah, both players 428 and 414 respectively. We're looking at some pretty decently high 500s, and a 600 is on the table for Myles.
Yeah, as we get set to transition, we are about 30 lines away here at this point.
Clean Tetris play. There it is. Tetris over here for Myles. 473 to now 465.
Yeah, and again, this is a game point for Andy. You know, he's got to get back into this one. You know, definitely, if you're Andy, you definitely don't want a game 3 situation, you know, because it means, well, you got to play another game consistently, right? And, you know, more than you would have to if you just, you know, got the sweep, got it done. But, you know, you also just, you know, you want to make sure that you don't give Myles that momentum that he needs to get back into this match.
Yeah, because, I mean, we already saw both players last game got a 1.3. You lose this game, it's like maybe you need a 1.4 to win. Both of these players have, you know, multi-million PBs, and even though there is the 39 cap involved, they can still get some incredibly high scores.
Yeah, definitely, you know, rollovers, you know, with a 1.6s, right? Still on him.
Andy.
Oh, but Andy.
A little bit of shakiness right there.
Yeah, it almost looked like a DAS early shift of sorts, right? Even though he's not even playing DAS, but it kind of looked that way with the bar.
And Myles looking crisp. Definitely a low 600K transition. If the bars come, Myles being forced to take these burns. There it is, 586 transition for Andy, 616 here for Myles, and that's going to be a 616 or 618 transition. Going to knock one down immediately. Andy having to do some maintenance on this board, looking for ideal pieces.
Oh, it's going to go for the center wheel here. Myles is set up. He's trying to keep up the aggression here, put the pressure on Andy, but this bar ain't coming. So he's going to have to burn a little bit here.
Yeah, and got to be careful. No, this, okay, gets the long bar. That's going to be a triple. Stack is down. It can be managed. But you have to be careful. This is, you're down 0-1. You know, going aggressive while the game's this close.
Yeah, it could get pretty dicey if you're not careful with it. In the meantime, he is looking like he's probably going to set up a column 9. Yeah, he's doing just that aggressive S placement, giving you all the indication you need there.
There it is, Tetris for Andy. Myles holding out for this long bar. Beautiful burn. And Tetris for Myles, gets the well transfer. He's going to try and get that left side dealt with first.
Oh,
and
meanwhile,
Andy's in trouble.
Yeah, Andy's in a mess here. But that S, how on earth did that get there?
Getting that S there might be the reason why Andy survives. There's no other spot for that S on the board.
Yeah, that may have just saved him the game. But will it be enough to get him the win? It is so tight right now. 725 for Myles, 742 for Pixel Andy, and a Tetris for both. So Andy will maintain the lead.
But Andy is also ahead in lines. Myles able to fire back, so can still have that pace advantage. And, you know, even though people are like, oh, people can play 29, pace doesn't matter as much, the mental pressure that your opponent's higher pace is something that you can't necessarily quantify.
Yeah, you know, you have to consider, like, hey, how much, you know, if we're doing a chase down on 29, like, how far behind am I, right? How aggressive, it makes a difference in how aggressive you're going to have to be, especially, you know, with a 39 cap, you know, it really does make all the difference in the world.
898 to now 829. Myles knocks down a Tetris, goes up to 860. Andy encountering a lot of issues and needs to get this board under control. Big thing. Oh, hold on, Myles. Oh, the hang! Ooh. Myles needs to find some way to survive this. It is possible, but it's going to be tough. Nice
SP's
double.
Coming in. Oh, my goodness.
Needs an eyepiece. T-piece can't get over. Myles tops out at 868. Andy will advance to the grand finals to face his brother.
There it is. Wow, the story has come to fruition, and we're going to see a rematch from CTWC 2020 in the grand finals.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. Join our Discord server, the largest Classic Tetris community online, at ctm.gg/discord, and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.